Wake up! Wake up!
I'm a failure. You know, it's very hard. I tried animating that without replay. Like this, that reminds me just how little restraint I actually have. You know, it's really above average difficulty to make content when there's no one really there to see it.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
I have been practicing animation for a few years now. And, yes. I had a goal in mind to finish this animation of Spinel. The best, the GOAT, best villain, best character. Everything good about this show is everything that isn't named after it. Even if I like and appreciate Steven, you know, the longer I live,
I am going to Kermit's.
the more I realize how him trying to fix his own problems he cannot fix at all, when fixing it's literally in his bloodline, becomes more and more relevant the longer I live. I'm not kidding. He healed can't heal himself, he can heal his mind.
Brain blast!
Anyway, the show's 10th anniversary came and went like Steven's mom. And no new announcement, no new spin-off or prequel or anything. Mostly because animation is burning right now.
What up, bro?
The CEO who owns the TV Universe IP hates animation. Cartoons are getting cancelled left and right. And it's like holy sh**. But don't get discouraged, my friends. Get depressed. Because even if a new show is announced, it will be under development for years until it can get actually marketed. So, that. Like that. All this animation trouble has filled me with anxiety and anger. But I already had those things, it just made them worse. And the goal I had of this Spinel animation went into the gutter. But I'm here to explain to you why. Laziness. And an absolute cluster of practice. I wondered if I'm going to at making animations quickly,
Brain blast!
how can I do it efficiently? Once you draw a picture for every second of animation. But how bad is it, really? It'll make it smooth and show what 2D can do, right? Right? That's all well and dandy until I realized that there's 24 frames
24.
per second, more or less depending on what you're going for. 24 is ideal.
25.
That's 24 individual drawings made from the ground up just for one measly pathetic second. Jesus fuck! To make even 1 minute of animation like this, one would need 1,440 drawings needed to be made. Anyway, like, I could barely get 2 seconds done. This is why you animate in 2s and 3s and so on and so forth. I'm not trimming this instead of once. Basically, you hold a drawing for a few frames before drawing another one, depending on the movement you're trying to convey. Animating in once isn't necessary at all. Having janky frames feels better and have a much greater impact on fight scenes. I'm keeping that too. Especially fight scenes. Just look at the Spider-Verse movies or The Last Wish, movies like that. That means less drawings and that means less work, right? Not like that means jack to animators. It's still a lot of work no matter what. But guess what? I went into my thoughts, neatly stacked up all of my
I don't know what this is, but
in a built-in notification foundation because I did not give any. I'm still not trimming. I still tried it. Take a shot every time I say not because it'll make the animation unnecessarily smooth, but because I just needed practice. Frankly, like my entire educational experience, I'm like, damn, I didn't know what I was doing. So since I failed in my original task and the original date, and worst of all, failed the greatest character to ever grace my eye sockets, besides Wheathead over there. She's a queen. She's a queen. She's a fucking queen! Got hair on my face again. The best character in this beautiful shit show. The other one. Beautiful shit show.
We've come to Earth to live with you.
What?
I'm so obsessed over animated shows, indie or not.
that's enough.
You are a worthless bitch ass nigga.
And so, let me show you my experience in becoming an animator so far. Let's begin at the beginning. Yeah, great joke. Great beginning sentence, you f***ing edgelord. That was such a great joke, it became a celebrity. Because I need to celebrate the starting humor of the video I've been procrastinating for Am I allowed to make the same joke a third time? Flip a clip. What was my very first animation? The one that started this long journey of drawing myself into a coma. Over here, bitch. It got me again. It got me again. What is it about that stupid explosion that just gets me every time? While I was editing it the first time, it got me, and now it got me a third time. What is it? It's engraved in my mind. It's nostalgic. This was just a way for me to test out what animating in ones would look like, really. So after searching for more examples on the internet, I came to the conclusion that, what the f am I doing? What the f am I doing with my life, bro? What am I doing? You're 27 years old. What are you doing? What is this? Anyway. What the fuck? This was a simple animation with simple shapes and simple execution. No, I don't like this. I know that none of us want to see this maybe Google Gaga bullshit examples. Like real parenting, I seek real results. I'm making a genuine attempt at this. And so I looked at Spinel and repeated what my foregods said to me a long time ago. I chose to animate her angry. So I picked up my iPhone 7 and January 2021. What the f? And so I started the Adobe app. Piece of shit. So I started to drop on the Adobe app. Adobe app. I never bothered looking up how you actually pronounce this shit. This popular drawing thing that everyone uses. So I used it and drew the very first frame of the face. I needed to start with something simple, something small. A mutated what? I didn't want to jump right into very complicated action sequences. Just a very simple facial expression change and keyframes. I explained keyframes in my first video ever. But to summarize, you see this? Yeah, fuck that. So let's put it here instead so I can in this location instead. That's what I like to call the f off movement. Besides being a sentiment I made up just now, the f off makes me move the things I'm drawing. Yeah, I still think that's a funny joke the second time recording this. And the f off is my entire mentality through this process, because I know it would be worth it in the end, despite all the pain. So I sketched some keyframes and started to animate it. Hey, that's not that bad. Just a simple change in facial expression. So I moved on to the rest of the body and it crashed. Adobe crashed.
Are you f***ing serious? Okay. Piece of shit.
Adobe crashed. The sun is blue, grass is blue. It crashed. Yeah, go figure. I figured this app wasn't suitable for animations at all. So I went online to actually get an animation software and found Clip Studio Paint, a highly customizable, professional app with tons, and I mean tons of customization to use as an excuse to inflate the price and make monthly subscriptions. But I heard how good it was with animations, so I had to give it a go. Now, there was a problem. I wasn't kidding when I said how frustrating it is to figure out how this thing works. What the f is a raster layer, bro? What? But I still drew and made several mistakes in the process, as you should. Clip Studio has these things called folders where you can drag and drop as many drawings and details as you like and keep them all in a singular folder. It really helps with keeping things nice and tidy, and I fucking hate. You know how you fuck around with layers so much and need something specific to change and you end up checking every single folder because who actually names these?
I do. Good, Carl. Keep it up.
Ah, yes. Just let me look for the layer. Perfect! Just what I was looking for. No. I'm just going to blank all of these until I find what I need to change in this orgy of drawings and failure. So after some disastrous planning, I got a Clip Studio test run completed. Like I mentioned before, I animated it in once.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. You stay there. Hold on. I'll be right back. I had to clean this dirty phone that I'm definitely gonna dirty again.
But it was clear that I still had a long way to go. At this point, I'm still animating on my phone. And you know what happens when you use software, big boy software on a phone? It crashes! I couldn't afford a tablet or a drawing pen at the time. So all the animations I'll show today were made using my fingers. This test of spinel animation was made with just the tip. Laugh. Don't believe me? Well then, here I am animating a completely irrelevant animation involving a certain blonde for a certain show involving sex, demons, clowns, violence, furries, you know, all the things that make life worth living. But I won't show it until it's ready. Yes, it's still not ready. Regardless, drawing on my phone's tiny screen proved to be difficult but doable. So, after getting the hang of Clip Studio, I went back to Adobe Foreskin, Adobe whatever, and finished up animating the rest of Spinel's body. I animated the arms and... oh, wait. What am I doing? Why did I do that? Why did I drew the keyframes in one up instead of doing it in Clip Studio? Whatever. I wasn't sure what I was doing, so mistakes are inevitable. It's hard to distinguish the differences between a newbie and a dumbass with the amount of mistakes both of them make. But one is willing to learn, while the other one thinks they know it all already. Remember, children, dumbasses think they're smart, but that's what makes them dumb. So I exported the keyframes
Bro, look at all this garbage.
threw Adobe into the help it where it was forged from and got to fixing this shit because I couldn't see the keyframes.
It turned off the mic.
Because the white was exported with the drawing, so the entire layer was just covered in white stuff. Oh, because why did I think it wouldn't export that way? That's silly of me.
It's the eyelashes. It's the eyelashes. Oh my.
So after erasing all of that negative space, I got to animating and oh. You know the one thing that all animations shares as a whole? Besides lower back torture simulator? Is that it doesn't matter the amount of frames that you use, but how you use them. If you don't, then rub a TV on my belly and call me a Teletubby because it morphed into the other drawing instead of moving to the drawing. It was f***ed. Sure, I thought the keyframes were enough, but for animation, nah. In fact, no. Once I realized my mistake, I realized my other mistake. These two keyframes were completely disproportionate, either too big or too small, and since we're talking about Steven Universe characters, and people pretending to give a shit about its proportions they didn't notice at first, so I overhauled the entire keyframes and animations of Spinel's arms and hands. And after 2 weeks of drawing, redrawing, sketching, correcting, I ended up with this. 2 weeks! Pardon my pitch, but 2 weeks! It took me 2 weeks for me to make this. It's 2 seconds long! Now let me tell you something. Just let me tell you something about this hand in particular. This f***ing hand needed to be redrawn with these corrections, these red lines, because of its nature, its perspective. You see, the hand comes up, does a little twirl with its fingers, then slowly straightens her Mickey Mouse looking hands, or gloves, that's what they're supposed to be, and it turns. So, you know how something small and that small thing faces you? Just ask your cheating girlfriend. She knows. It gets larger, fatter. Man, the self-restraint I need to stop making these sex jokes is so great. At this rate, I would end up writing for Hell of a Boss. I love that show. It's kinda pretty obvious why I love that show based on my personality, don't you think? Anyway, basically, when something faces you, it gets bigger. So every tip of every finger needed to be animated. But that's not the worst part. No! Because the hand itself needed to turn at a certain angle. And it was all pain. Well, for me anyway. And my hand. My right hand. I lost God knows how many f***ing hours trying to make this to look good, to look right, exactly how I wanted it. Anyway, yeah, f*** this, f*** all of this. So let's do it again! Oh, the other hand, it was a lot simpler. It just goes woo woo and woo woo. The little shaky thing she does with her hand to contain her anger before she unleashes it was a nice touch I added. It was not really planned. The hand was just supposed to be standing there. Standing there. A hand. Standing there. Shut up, John. The little shaky thing was added while I was animating. That's another thing. I'm going off script a little bit, but that's another thing about animating. When you make in-betweens to make the movement, you can come up with several ways that would differ a little bit from the keyframes, but trying to keep it the same is just better. Yeah, some things when you're animating just comes up while you're working on it. It happens with all forms of art, really.
For the rest of the body was relatively simple.
I animated her twin pigtails blowing in the wind individually, just made every section of her hair move at a slightly different angle, and played on a loop to make it seem like it was constantly blowing in the wind. Just like that Super Saiyan Chibi. Oh my god, Akira Toriyama was alive when I first made this. God damn it! Okay. The rest of her body was simple. So much of my style originated from Dragon Ball. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I am not animating that heart-shaped rock. I get nightmares just by thinking about it, and they all have it in some shape or form, especially Spinel's. Hers is the most complex. If you look at the movie, sometimes her gem is really detailed and really complex, and the other times... I'm not animating that rock. Well, technically speaking, these characters are all rocks with holographic bodies that have mass or some made up alien sci-fi bullshit like that. So I'm really out here painstakingly drawing 24 frames per second of rainbow worshipping gay fossil fuels ruled by these rulers who trillions for their own sake in a plot involving love, betrayal, the death. Yes, I'm still not over it. And why the are we focusing on Earth problems and their politics? No, really. They made these commercials with Stevie Universe characters and they talk about...
You're telling me Pearl wouldn't tap that shit?
Racism? Homophobia?
Black people
Hey, yo!
can't marry
Hey, yo, what the?
white people.
Oh, they go. Oh, don't be racist. Okay. Or they go. Oh, it's okay for boys to like boys. That's a bit lower than that. Okay.
Like, what the fuck?
You have a plot centering around an insecure ruler who faked her own death after failing to end the war she fucking started with herself. I am not kidding, but it was with this fake identity she used to prove herself to her sisters, her superiors, her mothers. Honestly, Rebecca, That was really subtle. You made pink smaller than yellow and blue and have them treat her like it's their daughter that they're responsible for, just as a way to represent merry moms educating their child. Now, honestly, that was a good and subtle representation. Too bad I still don't give a fuck because Pink fakes her death, runs to all nowhere we humans know as Earth, diddled a human she saw as a mere pet and made Steven. Pink Diamond, how do I say this? She Alt F4 and deleted herself in order to make her son, Steven, and the show to happen. She killed herself. That's what she did. That's what she did. She killed herself in order to give birth to Steven. What is this Gravebone bullshit? This is madness. And now her actions haunts Yellow and Blue as much as it haunts the fandom and Steven himself. Especially Steven. And the fandom. And Yellow and Blue. And me, especially me, because fuck, I'm still mad about this all these years later. My god. So, with all of that said, why in Blue and Yellow hell do you represent these characters worrying about problems kids don't really care about in these commercials?
If you speak up, maybe people will follow your lead and be able to change the whole racist system.
I know it's just a kid's show and I'm overthinking it here. Fuck you, it's fun to overthink. I know some of you may say, oh wait, but Pink seems realistic.
Bloody scream! So real.
Pink seems realistic, she seems human, she seems like her situation is real. It doesn't matter how realistic, deep, philosophical, or idea-moving political nuance and emotional garbage you put in your story. Your story is still just a story. Your characters are still just characters. They're not real, but they feel real. And you have to respect that feeling by writing them in a way that comforts that illusion. Sure, it may be far less fun to go about it that way, but fuck it. It will lead you to amazing moments in regard to the writing. Following the rules of writing, Chef Cup's gone mostly. It will lead you to amazing moments like Season 1 did beautifully. It doesn't matter if the quality of the show fell over time. The Season 1 finale still lives rent-free inside of my head. It was actually brilliant. So stop telling me how Pink being complex somehow makes her more human or even a better character, or how Connie acting out a character because oh, she's a kid, that's how they're supposed to act. No, shit, that's how they're supposed to act. But kid or not, dictator or not, they're still fictional characters in a work of fiction who are made purely for entertainment and money, especially money. But whatever. Anyway, oh yeah, this video is about animation. So, after 2 weeks and 6 crashes, I finally finished it. So I sat there and looked at it. After all my years of drawing, I was finally moving forward with my skills and making my dream come true of bringing my characters to life, even those who aren't mine. So I was just sitting there thinking like, oh wow, I can animate. And it immediately followed with, I can animate. And so I started my journey to animating more and more and so much more. All in once, mostly for practice perspective. But that's enough for now, again. If you wanna see all the other animations I made and my breakdowns of them after this Spinel one, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll definitely make more.